It's just a brilliant movie, and it's one of these movies where, similar to Psycho, which we're going to talk about, where this bad guy, Hannibal Lecter, you kind of are rooting for a little bit. You're kind of thrilled that he gets out because he's being abused himself, just like Norman Bates later you find yourself rooting for. But, I mean, that's what's so beautiful about it. So it's sort of homage-y, and it is this journey. But what's amazing about it is ultimately this journey of this woman. And it's one of the latest in a movie, like, title reveals, like plot reveals, that it's like we're 3/4 of the way through before you kind of do the Silence of the Lambs thing is revealed, and that she needs to do this to save her. I mean, first of all, this is a feminist movie way before feminist. Like, if this came out now, I would be rolling my eyes of like, oh, here's another one. But it was so early on. I mean, no one was doing this then. And I point to it when people talk about how like women didn't have roles or whatever. This is a fully feminist movie. It came out in February too, which is also extremely rare. It got delayed for whatever reason. And most, as we know, most Oscar movies come out in the holiday season. It's Oscar season, they call it. But this one came out at the beginning of the year. Movies like that never get buzz like this. And also, I think we talked about earlier, the second shortest screen time for Best Actor. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I buy it. I mean, you watch documentaries all the time on stuff, Netflix, HBO, and there's crazy prison systems, crazy mental hospitals. This was 30 years ago. Yeah, and every character is basically looking almost directly into camera, so you kind of feel that. They make you feel that, but she's looking off camera. I mean, it's such an amazing movie. She's looking off camera, but every character is looking directly. It's a close-up. The master of the close-up. And the POV almost always of her, so everyone's kind of staring at her, and she gets in the elevator with all the FBI agents at the beginning, and then before they examine the body, there's all those guys, and she kicks them out, and it's great. I mean, it's just spectacular, and there's so many great instances like that. So much great stuff. Hannibal, the cannibal, that's crazy. Okay, my joke was, who wrote this movie? Dr. Seuss, and then I would say there's a movie about Blurderer the Murderer. And then this is edgy back then. I was like, and they're working on a movie called by a guy named Thapist, and that one's going to be. Well, that's right. It's so great, but also how scary Buffalo Bill is, which we should talk about. You don't know what pain is. That is like
one of the great,
horrifying to me. And he's holding his shirt, going, "Oh," he's impersonator. But also amazing. What's amazing too is that moment where she says, "My mother's really powerful, but I know you already know that." And it cuts to him, and he's just sewing, which is like, he's like, I don't give a fuck about your mother. Like, that's such a scary thing of this woman is in this pit, which you think couldn't get any more scary. But in her mind, she's like, okay, they're holding me hostage. They want money. And this guy's like, your mother? I don't give a shit about your mother. I'm going to kill you and make a suit so I can be a woman. I mean, another question I think is interesting is, there's American flag. There's an American motif throughout it. She's listening to American Girl when she gets abducted. When the final gunshot gets fired, it zooms in on an American flag with an army helmet, by the way. And then he has an American flag hanging. There's an American flag in almost every scene. It's over the hearse. The casket is covered with an American flag.
Right.
And I think it's just like this purely American story. Serial killers feels very American to us, and mental health, and having this guy down in a basement. So there's a lot of interesting things. One thing is Anthony Hopkins, I remember, tried not to blink at all. Like he was like some kind of monster. It makes him less human, which is an interesting thing. I think he only blinks like once or twice. But he needs something to do. Yeah, he needs something to do. He's in there. I mean, he's in like these torturous conditions. But he's incredible. Buffalo Bill's incredible. Scott Glenn is great. Amazing. I mean, it's just it's got mystery. It's got a little bit of comedy. It's horrifying at times. There's great twists. Well, I think he does both. I'm sure, like, I don't know, like, I love steak, and if I didn't have steak for 8 years, I might take a bite of a raw one just to woo. And he spits it back in his face, I think. I think it's a little psychopath, but he's sending a message. I don't know, he's just doing it for fun. But he's psychotic. He could grab you, smash your head into the bar. I mean, break your arm off. I mean, you don't want to be near a dangerous criminal.
You know what I mean?
But Buffalo Bill has a sexual component. He's literally standing in the mirror saying, "Would you f me? I'd f me." I mean, he's trying to be. He's talking about sex. The science guys slice the bug the same way the backs of the women are sliced.
Right.
Fun little moment,
and
which really just shows you how it's a nice window into like these two nerds with glasses holding a bug, performing an experiment, and that's what this guy is doing. It's a real parallel.